Well, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much again for joining us for this Love Your Block idea submission info session. My name is Janice Castle, and I am the Director of Community Engagement for the City of Hartford. I'm excited to be here with you to share information on this great project, great opportunity that we have for residents and organizations to submit ideas to help beautify and just enhance our great community here in Hartford. Before we dive into the slide, I want to, of course, welcome our partner in this wonderful initiative from the Hartford Foundation for Public Giving, and invite Erica Frank to give us some brief remarks from the foundation. Erica will be on to help as we go through the slides, as well as answer any questions that you might stump me with during the presentation. So I'll turn it over to Erica.
Not much that stumps Janice, but it really has been a wonderful team effort. My name is Erica Frank, and I'm a Community Impact Officer at the Hartford Foundation. I also want to thank my colleagues, Cynthia and Michaela, who support these efforts as well on behalf of the foundation. So we are super excited to deepen our partnership with the City of Hartford and really to get more dollars into the hands of residents and neighborhood groups that have meaningful ideas to make changes to the visual look and feel of their neighborhoods. And we truly believe that those that are living and working in Hartford neighborhoods are the ones that know where is that block, that corner where some investment could really make a difference into the quality of life for everyone in that neighborhood. So we hope that this call for ideas process is empowering for you and your neighbors and your coworkers. And we really encourage you to submit an idea, ask questions, engage in the process. And I'll just end by saying thank you for your passion and your excitement. And we can't wait to make some incredible grants this spring and summer.
Thank you, Erica. So what is Love Your Block? So for some of you who may be seeing or learning of this program for the first time, so Love Your Block is truly a partnership between our city, the municipality, our residents, our neighborhood groups, local organizations. It's all about providing grants to fund and support residents who have ideas about improving our community. It's all about neighborhood beautification, quality of life improvement for those who live here, work here, play here, right here in our great city. So it's truly an opportunity to see your ideas as the community, as our residents, as our organizations right here in our city, to see those ideas come to life. So you might be asking, how does all get started? So we started actually back in, this actually will be the 4th year that we're looking to do Love Your Block. I'm so excited. I cannot believe it's been that long, but COVID took 2 years from us, right? So it actually started when the City of Hartford was invited to apply for a grant from Cities of Service through Bloomberg Philanthropy. It started off as a small $25,000 grant over 2 years. And the idea was to encourage residents to address blighted vacant spaces in their neighborhood. And so when we got the program in, it was funded at $1,000 per project the first year. A lot of folks were skeptical about what could really happen with $1,000. And so we put the idea out there. We actually had 5 projects that came forward, which I will show you some examples in a little bit, that really started this whole initiative, because once those 5 projects came on board, the next year we saw more projects because residents and other neighbors were inspired by what this 5 group of individuals were able to do with just $1,000. And because we only funded 5 projects that first year, we went ahead and funded 16 projects the following year. Through the grant, we were able to fund 15, and the foundation was so excited about all the projects they funded the last 16, which we were really excited to fund in the community. Last year, again, we spoke to the Hartford Foundation. They saw all the great work, how excited and how passionate residents were. And so last year was the first year that the Hartford Foundation actually funded the project. And they said, you know what? If they can do great things with $1,500, what could they do with $2,500? And of course, we saw some great projects that came out of those efforts. Some of those projects, as you can see, we had the Broad Street Art Garden on your left. You know, we had residents who came together through tactical urbanism, beautification. They were able to take a vacant lot that was owned by Sina in the community, and they turned it into this beautiful art box lot. They had students work to do the art that you see on the screen, and then neighbors actually came in and built these little plots. And so if you go by the lot, there are actual people who live in that neighborhood that have and plant their vegetables in the spring and the summer. You will see them out there exchanging vegetables and just socializing in that space. So not only did they transform that space, but they kept building on their sense of community together, right? And up in Asylum Hill, you know, everyone was complaining about the unsightliness of the laundromat and what could be done with the space. Well, they have a local artist who lived in the community, and so she reached out to the owner of the laundromat. He had just brought over the property and actually was wondering what to do with the space as well. So with her time, actually, she designed that art, got neighbors to come together. She used the funding from the Love Your Block project, and the owner of the laundromat actually contributed to the project as well. So not only did they paint the mural, they painted the sidewalk, they planted flowers in front of the little shopping area. So just imagine what that small little project just woke up in the neighbors, and they were able to expand that, not just for a mural, but beautiful plantings as well in the neighborhood. We had a group last year that took over one of the city's own property, the Marcus Garvey Place at the corner of Granby and Cornwall. They said, you know, it's the city space. It looks okay, but it needed a little bit of touch. And so they got together with neighbors and they planted additional flowers. They added some lighting. And even after one of the flooding that we experienced last year took out most of their planting, they came back with help from the city. They added more mulch, added some more planting because they just want to see the area grow. And I heard that they might be thinking about more things they can do with that space because they do want community members to be able to go and sit and read a book and just enjoy the space in the neighborhood. But it's not just these smaller projects. We have the Zion Hill Cemetery where, you know, they saw the deterioration of the building and they wanted to improve it both inside and out. We had within the 463 Park Street, they created the Hartford Heroes mural. This was a project that was funded directly through the Hartford Foundation. So the idea is not to limit what we can do, but just to look at ideas and see how we can use all of the ideas to improve, to enhance, to beautify, to green, just to add that positive energy into our neighborhood. So the projects can range from cleaning, greening, beautifying. I'm sure there are other words we can use to inspire you, but it's truly an endless opportunity to submit ideas that could potentially fall into these categories that we can transform and actually see come to life and enjoy both by residents and visitors alike. So the idea this year, you know, I went a little quickly because I get so excited about this project. So when we started talking about the Hartford Foundation about continuing on with Love Your Block, what we wanted to do was not just continue Love Your Block, but have this bigger Love Hartford initiative. And under that, we've been doing so many things. You might have heard of Love Hartford Week. Last year, we were able to do projects in the neighborhood. We awarded NRZs for bringing out, the most volunteers. They then use that fund to light up Maple Avenue for the holidays. So we're constantly thinking about creative ways that we can enhance our community. And so what we're doing is, instead of just saying apply for a Love Your Block grant with the $2,500 from the city portion of the grant, what we're asking this year is for folks to really submit their ideas. We know that their ideas, big and small, sometimes individuals may not have that idea all baked out. Sometimes they may need a little bit of help planning out that idea, building it out. They may need some professional assistance. So what we're really doing this year is asking the community, what's your idea? Whether it's big or small, we want to know, what is your idea? You don't have to have the details. All you need to share with us is the basic information about what you're trying to do in the community. Do you have an estimate of the cost? Maybe, maybe not. That would be helpful. But if you don't, it's not a limitation, because we can actually try and help figure that out. Do you have a team in place? Do you have community members to help you develop the project? Or do you need a community organization to partner with to help build out the project? Those are all things that we want to make sure this year does not limit the submission of ideas that can potentially get funded this year. And we're not just looking for new ideas. Maybe you submitted a project in the past that you want to maintain. Maybe you submitted an idea in the past that you want to expand upon and you want to add to it. You want to make it bigger, better. It could use a mural, or it could use a tree or some more flowers. Those are all things that we want to provide the space to do with this opportunity. And that's why we're truly asking for you to just submit your idea so that we can start there, help you clarify those ideas, and then we can actually get to the grant application portion of it. So the deadline to submit those ideas is March 7th. Again, if you have questions, we are here to help in the process, but we really want to get those ideas in so that we can help flush it out. So when those ideas are submitted, it's what we will be looking at between our city departments, the Hartford Foundation, and my office. We will be really looking at those ideas for feasibility. Is it an idea that can be done this summer? Does it align with what we're hearing that the neighborhood wants, city plans? Is it in a gateway to the community? Is it along a business corridor that really add value to the neighborhood? Is it something that you need a community partner to really work with to bring the idea to life? Is it an idea that needs some more time to bake, to plan out, need some professional guidance? Those are all the things that we will be looking for. If it's a resident-led smaller project under $2,500, that individual submitter will be invited to apply for the Love Your Block resident grant. If it is a larger grant that requires a nonprofit partner to really help look at the technical pieces and need city staff to look at it, that project will be invited to apply for the Love Your Block community grant, and that opportunity can be funded for up to $2,500. I'm going to ask Erica to expand a little bit on the community grant, because that specific application will go through the Hartford Foundation, whereas the resident grant will go through our application process here at the city. So Erica, will you elaborate a little bit on the community grant?
Sure, thanks, Janice. So as you can see, we wanted to make this a very easy one door in process with the idea submission. But the reality is that different projects need different levels of support and need different resources. So for those projects where they may be a little more complex, You might need to contract with professional services, like Janice said, or they just might be more costly. We do see the benefit of pairing that project with a nonprofit partner for a couple of reasons. As opposed to maybe really informal resident groups, nonprofits do tend to have permanent staff. So if the project's going to take multiple years, it's nice to have that nonprofit presence that is going to sort of sustain it over time. They also, in many cases, have the financial systems in place to contract with different providers and be able to sort of manage the grant project. So if you have an idea for a larger project, still submit it, because even you may know a nonprofit in your neighborhood that you're already partnered with, and that's great. But we can also work with you to pair you with a nonprofit in the neighborhood if there's not already one that you're working with. I also did want to clarify that nonprofits can submit ideas too. It's just that we want to make sure that these are the projects that we're funding are really bubbling up from what residents want to see in their neighborhoods. So I think there's a lot of nonprofits that are really neighborhood based and probably co-creating projects with residents. That's great. We'd love for you to submit an idea and share what you're hearing from the residents that you're engaged with. So I think that's it for me. So I'll turn it over back to Janice.
Thank you, Erica. And before we open it to answer any questions that you have, we just wanted to remind you that myself and my staff, Tiana Starks, our community liaison, are here to answer any questions that you may have. You can email us at loveyourblock@hartford.gov. You can call us if you got stuck, if you have a basic question that you want to know, because we really want to remove any barriers or any any obstacle that you may think is keeping you from submitting that idea. And this is why we're doing this process, right? So we don't want you to go through the lengthy application process without knowing whether or not an idea is feasible and something that could be funded. So we really want to give this opportunity to submit a simple idea form so that we can help you through the process and we can know, okay, this is something that could potentially be funded before you complete the application. And of course, Erica and her team is also here to answer any questions that you have. If there is something that we cannot clarify, we're happy to connect you with the foundation to make sure that you have those answers and you feel confident in submitting those ideas. So I know I went through that a little bit quickly. I get really excited about Love Your Block because it reminds me of the weather we had today, despite what's coming on Friday. So I know we went through a lot. The slides will be posted online. If you have any questions, we are recording this session. And again, we're always here to answer any questions that you have. So now what we want to do is open it up for any questions that you may have now that we can get you to submit those ideas and remove any doubt in your mind that your idea is worth submitting. So we'll open the floor and see if anyone has any questions.
Hi, Janice, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Shirley Surgeon. So we submit an idea on the website. When will we know what else do we need to get to next?
So we are, once the deadline closes on March 7th, we're going to download all of the submitted ideas. We will be getting a team together to look through those ideas. Once we've had a chance to review and figure out, again, is it something that we can fund, which bucket it belongs to, and then we will be contacting the submitter so that they can begin the application process.
It's I just wanted to share, I just posted, it looks more complicated than it really is, but I just put in the chat the timeline, which is also on that Love Your Block website, just to make it a little bit easier.
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay, hi, my name is Sally Land. My question is, there is a a house on our block with this crazy looking fence where there's literally about 20 different pieces of board and fence. And I'm wondering if you do things like that, or does it have to be like a strip mall, like before in Asylum Hill, or a community site?
So it has to be a project that's really for a community space that can be shared and viewed by the community. We are very leery when it comes to addressing private property. This sounds like more of a blight issue that it can be addressed by the blight team, because property owners has a responsibility for maintaining their property. So I'm happy to connect with you offline to determine exactly the space and what exactly that you're looking to do. I'm happy to have the conversation with you
Thank you.
offline. But usually in the past, when we've done work on private property, it's for example, there is a lot on Wolcott Street that was a year one project. The owner, is just a vacant lot. He agreed to let the community use it as a play space for children in the neighborhood. They were able to put up mural on the wall, and they're able to use that space until such time as it's developed, and he signed an agreement with the neighborhood to do that. So that's usually the time that we go onto sort of like private property to do things like that, because it has an actual community benefit for the neighborhood.
Do you know what's going on with that old diner on the corner of Laurel and Farmington? It's one of those old fashioned diners. It looks like it's in Greece or something. Across from Dunkin' Donuts?
Comet
What-
Diner.
The Comet Diner, yes. Do you know what's
Yes.
going on with that? Because there could be
Yes,
a
that
lot
is-
of trees around there.
That
It's-
is privately owned and is currently in the process for redevelopment.
Okay.
The Asylum Hill NRZ, they meet the first Monday of every month at 6:15. Their meetings are virtual. That is one of their development projects. The
Excellent.
owner of that property is actually on the board and can share information, but that project is currently under redevelopment.
Excellent. Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. I thought I saw maybe another hand, or was that the same? Carrie, I think I saw Carrie's hand earlier.
I did have my hand up, and I had a question because I don't think I'm capable of leading a project, but it was more of a suggestion. I guess can just put it in on the website. They had painted the control boxes along Franklin Avenue to control the amount of graffiti in the neighborhoods. And I was, concerned about the look of the ones on Capitol Avenue, because I live in the city and I work over that way. So that was one of the things I was going to ask about.
Okay, and actually, that's a great question. So we are starting this year. We're actually in the middle of it, a pilot program on Albany Avenue, where we're getting local artists to design art that will be used to wrap the back of the bus shelters and the utility boxes. Again, the same idea to protect them, beautify them, and deter graffiti or vandalization. And so our hope is, once we complete Albany Avenues, to take that through all the corridors. So that's one of the conversations the city is having now, because we're looking to do all of the utility boxes along the business quarters. And I also know that IQUIL currently have a project that they're working on with Frog Hollow to wrap some of the electrical boxes along Capitol Avenue. So if we don't get to it
fantastic.
soon, we will be getting to it in the very near future.
Awesome. Thank you.
No problem. Other questions? Hi.
Hi, I just had a question. I was a little late, I'm sorry, but I just saw the notification. Like a project like the little free pantries, is that something that can be like eligible for funding?
Oh, absolutely. I think those are really great projects with community benefit. Absolutely.
Thank you.
No problem.
One more question, Janice.
Sure.
Can we submit more than one project?
Councilwoman, if you are going to beautify this entire neighborhood, I am with you. So yes, so no, so you can submit multiple
Thank you. That's
projects.
funny.
You can submit multiple ideas for consideration. Yes.